Good morning, Nara. Thank you so much for your time for being here with me.
Morning, Andrea. Thank you. Thanks for having me to speak with you. Great.
Yeah, just wanted to pick your brain a little bit on your journey being an entrepreneur. So perhaps you would like to start with introducing yourself and what you do.
Yes. So I'm a chartered accountant. I've been in very many different functions. I've been in different companies. I started out with a firm of accountings graduates and completed my CPA, Malaysian CPA. From there, I moved on to industry. I've been working in local KLSC companies. Then for an international experience, I joined a multinational company. I've been traveling around the world, doing many different things. Moved on from finance, human resource, environment, safety and health. And some of these have become very, very passionate subjects for me. So now I moved on into training and coaching. And I also consult for companies.
Wow. You were already successful in the corporate. Why do you want to do what you do now? You can already retire.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right. I think, being in different industries gave me a very broad exposure. And all the while, I found that I'm helping my board of directors, helping the senior management. Then I thought that was a passion. I find that I'm able to help people moving just from the realm of accounting into different industries and trying to understand what makes them tick and what are the problems they face. So I start thinking about problem solving. Then I start thinking about process. So one of the things which I love, one of the key mottos that I grew up with was improve your process and find what works and what doesn't, and then try to find a way to make it work, bring it back to true north. So I've been doing interesting things, which probably people think, how come an accountant is doing these kind of things? By end of the day, is really trying to help people connect the dots. And I think I've been doing that for so long. So now, for the last few years, I've actually been on my own once I left the corporate world. And this is where I come out to help people. So I put on a coaching mindset and try to see how I can actually help them.
So your journey of being on your own over the last few years, what are some of your biggest lessons that you learned in entrepreneurship?
Well, I think, being an entrepreneur myself, I found that when you're working for someone and then you're getting a salary from them and they are responsible for their business, let's say the factory or whether they are in any type of trading business, they are responsible. You go to work, you get a pay and you come back. What I found I was doing was I put myself in their shoes because I was also the director of the companies where I was working. So I'm always with the CEO. So I put myself in his shoes and we go through ups and downs, right? So I realize or I sense the problems that he faces. So what I found now being an entrepreneur, I'm saying I'm in that shoe myself now. I may be a one-man show or a two-man show or a five-man show as an entrepreneur, but now I am responsible for that. So some of the learnings that I found that what we needed to do was we really need to plan what we are going to do. We need to lay out the steps, what we need to do, how are we going to achieve the production of whatever we are going to do, or how we buy and sell, how we collect the money. So I found that those are it's a lot to learn because now you are responsible for yourself, not for somebody else. And when you're just going to go and get a pay at the end of the month, it's totally different.
Yep.
So I feel almost everyone must put their shoes, well, in the shoes of the boss, and he goes through a lot of tension. So now being an entrepreneur, I actually find that I can bring that knowledge to many entrepreneurs, and this is what I've been doing.
Wow.
I bring that knowledge to the entrepreneurs. Think about it, put yourself in the other shoe, and many people think, yeah, I'm good, I can go out and do this. But one day you can make it and you can sell it. But what about the next week, the next month, the next season? And can you sustain the business? So I try to foresee the kind of problems and then plan it out. So this is where you can even think about simple things like plan, take out your action, go and do massive action, go and implement things, and then keep checking what you're doing. Keep checking and then come back. Are you headed in the right direction? What do you need to correct? So that's a lesson which I've learned. and now I help people with that.
That's definitely a very big lesson, especially for current times, right?
Oh yes, yes,
Yeah. So
certainly, because
what?
these are
Mm,
something new, right? Some new challenges which people are coming across.
yeah.
So how to face that new challenge?
So what's one notable tagline or quote that you always use, or you have something that you want to share with everyone here?
Okay, I guess I got so many taglines in my mind, but since you asked the question, I think one key thing which I realize and I try to think about it every day is you take 100% responsibility for your life. It's
Absolutely.
it's it's not it's not somebody else. It's not your boss. It's not the sales
Mm,
guy. It's not the customer or the supplier chasing you. You take responsibility for your life, because you know what you're expected to do. You know these are your goals. Someone expects you to do things, and we cannot blame the weather or something. I remember one of
mm-hmm.
my CEOs telling me, don't complain that the snow has fallen in Alaska, and then now you're affected because of that. Or don't say that I didn't know it was Christmas. Everybody knows it's 25th of December and there's a holiday at the end of the year. You take responsibility for what needs to happen. You know your goal, go and work towards it. If you don't know what to do something, talk to somebody. Go and learn how to do that, and start thinking about the future.
You're
you
indeed
can
an
you can make it.
accountant. Even your tagline has a number in it. Wow.
Oops. Yeah, you're right. I think these are things which probably we learn. I always tell my children, you learn something. You go to school, you go to uni, and you learn
Mm,
something, whether you're an engineer or a whatever field you are doing.
mm,
But use those concepts in other assets and other facets of your life, and
mm.
and then you can think about how to manage your assets and liabilities. You see? So that's what I think. So maybe
Wow.
you're right. The accountant in me comes out in what I
Naturally.
do, but then I think that how do you manage your life? How do you manage the purpose in your life? I think that's what we need to do.
Very important. Very nice sharing. And
Thank
just
you.
before I let you go, I would like to
Yeah.
get you to share what's your favorite book that you would recommend everyone to read here.
Yes, I have a few books. As you can see, I've got a whole bunch of books on my
Yes,
bookshelf at the back.
indeed.
And if you see right somewhere to my right, you would have seen a series of books. And honestly, since you asked me the question, I have something
Mm,
here on my desk, which
mm.
this is a book which I'm not sure whether you can see this.
Wow.
It's
Yep.
called The
Success
Success
Principle.
Principles. And this book came out somewhere around 2005, 2004,
Mm-hmm.
and I was working with many speakers, many trainers and coaches of the world. So I wrote to him, and I was telling him that I want to bring him to Malaysia.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, wow, that would be a wonderful thing to do. I would love to come and visit. So he sent me the first chapter of this book, and he asked me to read through the chapter as he was compiling it and completing and editing. So this is the Success Principles. And one of those chapters inside there actually talks about taking responsibility for your life.
Wow.
So some of these rules and principles we learn from our parents, right? Be responsible, do what you're supposed to do.
Mm,
But sometimes it takes somebody like this to come and tell us again,
mm.
take 100% responsibility for your life. So this book talks about 64 success principles. I love whatever is inside there. I use it. I try to use as much of it as possible. And I think it has helped me a lot. I try to talk to others about it. And yeah, that's one book.
You've got a little secret page in your book that I don't have in my book. Can you share it with everyone here?
Yes. Once the MCO is over, we got to sit down and go through some of this.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
saw that you've shown me before. You have that little signature and autograph somewhere in that book.
Yes. Oh, so okay. So what happened was, yeah, this is my friend has actually
Woohoo!
autographed it himself. I do keep in touch with him. I like to think I'm associated with him. Not only him. I mean, I met so many other people, like the guy who said the monk who sold the Ferrari. So
Robin
many
Sharma.
others like this. Arvind Sharma. So I've spoken to many of these people and worked with them actually. And so some of these are like gurus. So I like to think of them as not just somebody who has written a book or something.
Mm,
I adopt him as my guru. I
mhm,
adopt a few others, and these
mhm,
are people who Okay, you just need to take one principle from them and see what worked. And I think we just sort of bring it together in different facets of our life, how we can improve ourselves.
Just before I let you go, so what's one last advice you have for everyone here?
I would say that, when we are looking at look at principles that you've learned, look at lessons that you've learned from your parents,
Yep.
look at lessons that you've learned from life, whatever experiences you've gone through. Make a note of it, and I just go through a very simple aspect. Plan your day, work through the day, make sure you check, are you heading in the right direction, reflect on things which went well, why they went well, and how can you replicate, so that it's not just a flash in the pan. And if things didn't go well, find a coach, find a mentor, and see how they can actually help you. So I think that's my advice to people as you go.
So do
I
you
hope
journal
that
or
it's
do you
helpful.
pen down some of these things?
I do very much. Sometimes I overwhelmed with a lot of notes, and then I sort of find a way to put them back in a way. And journaling is very, very important because it gives you the opportunity to reflect. Otherwise, we are just caught up with so many things in our day. So I have in my, today I'm wearing my t-shirt, so I don't have my pocket, but I have a Tiga Lima book. If you know the Tiga Lima buku, right?
Yeah.
So I bought a whole stack of them, and I've got about 100 of them inside there. So what I do is I make a note, I write it down there, because if your handphone is not there, otherwise I take my handphone, take out my stylus, I write some short notes there, and then find a way to bring them back on what action you need to do. So yes, I do journal, trying to look at it before you end your day.
That is a very good tip for the audience.
Yes,
Thank you so much.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your time. I hope that I can get you
Yes.
back here again to share
Sure.
about your
I'd love
journaling.
to.
I think a lot of people need to know about journaling.
Yes. I mean, I learned a lot from you. I mean, from all our interactions that we have had, and I think this is where we do. We learn from each other. At the same time, we also contribute. If there's a way to find a way to help somebody, or give an idea, so I think we just suddenly synergize, and one becomes two.
Thank you so much. That was put up in a very beautiful way, and hope to see you again.
Sure.
And thank you for your time today.
My pleasure, Andrea. Thank you so much.
Bye, Nara.